has noticed that customers are spending on average 5% more on healthy categories from their overall baskets compared to last year. Marz Al-Fazan has also seen more customers buying health products compared to last year, and the transactions have grown by 11% and customers by 4% according to YTD data. We also took a closer look at organic fresh produce and the halal market in the Middle East and globally, and I must say, the discussions were power-packed. Today, let's kick off with our next panel session, the rise of sustainable HORECA in the Middle East market. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm also fine.
Hi, Menaka. How are you?
I am great. So I'm just going to introduce you now, and then we'll get on with our discussion. So from plant-based dining menus to natural, personal, and body care being introduced, the HORECA sector is adapting to consumers and tourists in ways unimaginable. Experts discuss the scope of sustainability in the sector in the MENA region. Today joining us are Ms. Julia Schamne, General Manager at Adagio Premium Accor. Accor is a world-leading augmented hospitality group offering unique and meaningful experiences in almost 5,100 hotels, resorts, and residences across 110 countries. Adagio, an Accor Group brand, has chosen to join the Hospitality Group's Planet 21 program and is committed to providing hospitality that has a positive impact on the environment. It offers its guests eco-responsible products and services and works with communities to develop programs that protect the population. Hi, Julia, once again.
Hi there. How are you?
Great, I'm great. Next, we have Oz Erbas. She's the CEO of Sprout. It's a super healthy food for kids and families, caterers for super healthy foods for kids and families, ready-to-eat heat meals and sauces, forages and frozen items, popsicles made of whole foods and plant-based without any additives, preservatives, or any other nasty stuff. They strictly follow the latest evidence in pediatric nutrition science to make our food. So our speaker from Zoya is running late, so I'm not sure if they will join, but in case they do, I will introduce them as well. And we'll just get started now with our discussion. Thank you very much for joining today. So I wanted to start with Julia. Julia, how is your organization working towards sustainability?
Well, as you had introduced us already, when you were speaking about Accor in general and Planet 21, obviously we as a group have committed to reduce our carbon footprint on the world. Adagio Premium, the palm itself, what we do here is we have solar energy aside from our regular energy suppliers. We're working towards solutions to be plastic free. That includes the in-room amenities, that includes the bottles in the rooms. We are sourcing as much as we can of our products in the restaurants locally, so to reduce again the carbon footprint. We are placing organic and healthy amenities, shampoos, shower gels into the rooms as well. The team is being educated constantly about waste, because obviously this is also part of our promise to produce as little waste as possible. So our suppliers are requested to take back their garbage, their plastic, to constantly keep up with, of course, demand of going plastic free by 2022. So there are many ambitions within the company, within the group, and within Accor, within Adagio Premium, the palm itself, to be as sustainable as possible.
That's really great. The whole initiative Adagio and Accor have taken as a whole, that's really brilliant. And talking from a catering perspective, especially for the younger generation, Oz, what are your thoughts?
Sorry, can you come again, please?
Yes.
Yeah, this is for Oz. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So what are your thoughts on this from a catering perspective? for children and also ready-to-eat meals, and how do you strive towards that sustainability?
Right. We are at a different, we are coming at it from a different angle. So Sprout is contributing, so by being 100% whole food plant-based business, our footprint is very low to begin with. In addition to that, because we don't use meat, we don't get involved in animal agriculture at all, which is the biggest contributor to global warming. But in addition to that, specifically for Sprout, I think there's a few distinct ways in which we contribute. One is we sell all our B2C products in glass jars, which we recollect, wash, sanitize, and reuse. So it's a closed circle. We're the only ones doing this, which basically eliminates almost all packaging for us. That's a significant pillar of what we do. In addition to that, coming back to the plant-based angle, I mean, 70% of our ingredients are actually lend themselves to be grown locally. And we are currently working in finding ways with organic farms or farms established in the UAE to grow produce for us, which would greatly reduce any emissions spent on flying in produce from somewhere else. I think these are the two main pillars in which we contribute.
Yeah, we had actually spoken about sustainability with Mr. Miguel yesterday, who's the CEO of Management for them, and he had also really stressed on the fact that things should be sourced locally, and that change should sort of expand more the whole chain of local.
Yes.
So, okay, so moving on to the next question, and this is for Julia. Julia, how does your organization promote an active lifestyle?
This is part of our DNA. And Adagio Premium, the Palm, in the hotel where I am the general manager of, we have started with the recruitment. So the team that we are recruiting, they have to have a mindset that an active lifestyle, whichever body shape you have, should be part of your daily routine. So we pay attention to what we eat ourselves, how we move during the pre-opening phase. We did a lot of dancing, classes, group activities. For the guests, then it comes naturally to sell it. We have complimentary bicycles. We want the guests to be going out and about. We have a beach. On the beach, we have beach activities. We have yoga in the morning. We have beach activities for the children, where we, initiate marathons. Obviously not right now in the summer, but when the winter season starts, we will have bicycle marathons for the children and races. And in the Pixie Cafe, which is our cycling-inspired community cafe, we are promoting the active lifestyle through the menu itself. So we focus a lot on healthy ingredients. We obviously have vegan ingredients, gluten-free meals. We really want the guests to feel that when you eat well, you feel well. And this is part of our message as well. So you stay here with us, you eat well, you feel well, and you live well. So that's how we promote the active lifestyle.
Yeah, and I also stayed there last week, or it was last week or 2 weeks ago, and it really did embody that whole active lifestyle and being one with the nature around you, and yeah, it was really great. And Oz, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, it's very interesting because Julia has got all these nice facilities to promote running around and being active. We, as a food supplier, we don't get specifically involved in what the customers do at home, but we have something very interesting. So we follow, which is very different from any other food provider in the world, I would say. We have a framework that we follow for making food. That framework goes down the different food groups we suggest a child should consume every day. And one of these bars underneath is exercise. Now, exercise for a child could mean running in the living room. It could also mean jumping on the bed, which they normally are not allowed, or on the sofa. But all of these activities, they're definitely encouraged. And sometimes we get like customers filming their children and sending us what the kids were doing for fulfilling that activity.
Okay, wow, that's really good. And now I'll again ask you all, do you strive to go organic and are natural products the norm in your business, or how do you choose your ingredients?
Yes, so we go, so our procurement has a very strict, strict guidelines to follow. So we're trying to procure locally first and organic wherever possible. But some of the products we use are just not available in the UAE, in which case we have no choice but to go outside. I give you an example. We use, for example, we make a really exceptionally good bolognese sauce with 3 kinds of sprouted lentils.
Oh, wow.
Not all of these lentils could be grown here, for which we are trying to find suppliers and those farms, but they're not. So the beluga lentils, they are black beluga lentils, there are green lentils, which are called the French lentils, and red lentils. Unfortunately, all these lentils are coming in from outside the UAE. But we are striving to get these grown locally. And yeah, in these instances, we have no choice. We have to go outside. But when we can, we do procure locally.
All right. And what are your thoughts on going organic, Julia?
I mean, organic is a very big word, right? First of all, as Oz has mentioned, not everything is available. Secondly, not everything is attainable also. In the end of the day, you are still a business and you need to have, you can promise to be organic, but if you cannot carry on the business, then it is also counterproductive, because you also, when you talk about being really sustainable, you need to think about your people as well and how you can maintain the employment of the people. So there's always a fine balance between being organic and being actually a business. But what we do is we really strive to use local suppliers. So there is, in the UAE especially, there's been such a development in terms of produce locally, freshly produced produce, instead of importing tomatoes from the Netherlands, buying it from the UAE. And so this is what we do from a procurement point of view. For the in-room amenities, it's another story there, because there is a demand also from the guests themselves. There is this trend towards sustainability and towards organic products, towards health. So what do I put on my skin? What do I drink? So yes, there are some indications that almost push the hospitality industry to comply to organic products. In our hotel, we do not have organic products in the in-room amenities yet, but it is something that we are planning to have in the future. We currently have natural products, but they are not organic.
Yeah. Can I just add to this? Yeah, I completely agree with Julia. It's really difficult. So, for example, if you were to label a product organic, you make a commitment. You make a commitment that the same product, at the same quality, at the same consistency, is available to the customer all the time. And due to the supply chain not being set up here, it's really hard to make these kinds of bold statements. And then what you don't want to do is overpromise and underdeliver.
For sure. That is the point that everyone has to note. And when you do import these products or source these products, which countries do you prefer sourcing them from?
I mean, it has to do with a bit of like the organic food labeling is there's different regulations in different regions. So I'm a bit familiar with the EU labeling guidelines and the US labeling guidelines. So these would be my preferred regions where I would procure stuff or ingredients to be organic. But then again, it depends on the ingredient and on the product sourced. Some of these products are not sourceable organic with EU certification. They're also not available with US certification. And then you move into other regions, if you can. Or you say, you know what, for this one product, I can't source it organically. You don't make that commitment.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And Julia, do you have any preference for sourcing any ingredients, or for example, your natural line? Where is that sourced from? Which country? We can't hear you anymore, Julia. Can you hear her all?
No.
Yeah. Our amenities are coming all the way from Australia. This is due to the fact that we have a corporate agreement, and they were the ones to come in with a really natural product. But when it comes to the restaurant itself, we really target the UAE.
Okay, mostly local. Yes. Great. So now moving on, and this is for you, Julia, first, and then Oz. What trends do you foresee in natural and sustainable wellness? So in this regard, I'd like you to speak a little bit about Planet 21, if you could.
So what trend we see in terms of sustainable wellness?
Yes, and if you could speak a bit about Planet 21 as well, that would be great.
So Planet 21 is a group commitment that Accor has taken to really reduce the carbon footprint. So it involves anything from waste management. How do we manage our waste, to rainwater, catching rainwater and utilization, to installing gardens in the hotel, for example, herb garden, to planting trees, to implementing sustainable or energy reduced measures in the hotel. So most of our hotels are certified energy efficient. For example, Adagio Premium the Palm is LEED certified. We're a green building. What does it mean? We have flow aerators on the water to reduce our flow of the water, to reduce water spending. We have obviously energy efficient light bulbs. We are using energy efficient soundproofing. Material of the building itself was selected in a way that it has least environmental impact. When it comes to travel as such, as I said, the educated consumer, the educated guest nowadays is really seeking, and this is growing in large numbers, for sustainability and for the assurance that whatever I put on my body, whatever I physically, emotionally, is is natural and is going to have a benefit. So the rise of organic or wellness is definitely there. So we have a lot of guests who would have complained about too much plastic in the room, who are coming to us and asking us for, do you have glass bottles instead of plastic bottles? When it comes to preferences in the room, it's very interesting that how it has changed. For example, in earlier days, a bathtub was an absolute requirement for a guest when it comes to a hotel. Nowadays, nobody really is asking for a bathtub, and everybody is very content with a nice rain shower with a controlled water flow. So there is a definite demand here, and the hotels are gearing up to meet this demand of wellness. I don't have a spa in the hotel, but when it comes to wellness, for example, for Adagio Premium the Palm, it would be mental and how you treat your guest, how you approach it, the active lifestyle that we're selling, as well as the promise to the guests that we are doing everything we can to be as sustainable as possible.
So we were talking about sustainability, trends and sustainability. So, Oz, your opinion, please.
I'm basically tagging on to this. Wellness, we look at wellness differently. We look at wellness in terms of health outcomes, right?
Yeah.
As a food provider, it's like, it's our mission to actually parents uh, help parents feed their children better. And by better, I mean not only in terms of quality of the ingredient, but what does it contribute to health. And I don't see, I mean, we've seen a huge trend over the last years, especially with the pandemic last year, where people became much more conscious about the connection between what they eat and how susceptible they can be for viruses or anything else, right? The COVID has taught us that it's paramount to take care of our bodies, and diet and nutrition is an essential pillar. And that's basically where we come in. We are a health first company. It's absolutely essential that every ingredient selected and the way everything is prepared yields the best possible outcomes for growing bodies, the bodies of children. So that's what that's how we are looking at it, and I don't see that trend changing anytime soon.
All right. And any advice you have all for suppliers who want to enter the Middle East region?
Suppliers in this space, in the wellness, and it's a very broad question to answer. Get used to things moving slower than usual than in other territories. Develop a thick skin. I mean, no, generally, I think it's a really good market to be in. The UAE is definitely showing growth. There was a slowdown due to last year, but we're picking up for sure. And I don't see any reason why any supplier wouldn't want to be here, provided they offer products that for which there is demand. And there's a lot of niches and gaps in the UAE market for organic, for better for you products all across.
And Julia, your opinion on this?
Look, our COO, Sebastian Bazin, he mentioned change or be changed. So the advice to suppliers and anybody in the industry actually is to go ahead and really think ahead, continuously develop, continuously innovate, and look at trends. So if the trend is towards healthy food, sustainability, towards organic, towards the wellness, whether it is mental wellness, physical wellness, through food, through the vacation. So suppliers need to adapt, and it is not possible that the produce is hard to obtain or too expensive. I mean, everybody needs to sort of agree that this is the only way forward. We all want to make sure that we have a planet to give to our children. We all understand the implications of our footprint, what we leave behind. So if a supplier packages differently before us telling him, and if he's finding himself ways of incorporating the new packaging or applies pressure on his packaging supplier so that we don't have to bear the cost of the organic overall price. Everybody, it's a chain reaction. Everybody needs to line up for it to be a success, and that is my recommendation: is change or be changed. Because in the end of the day, there are so many entrepreneurs, there are so many businesses that are opening up who are really seeing what the guest needs and what the client is looking for, and they will always win, rather than a company that remains stagnant in the old ways.
Yes, of course. Change starts, and when you believe in that change, only then it will happen. So 100% agree with that, Julia. We do have some audience questions. We have one for Oz and one for Julia. So, Oz, the question is for schools in the region. When do you think that most schools would convert to healthy eating for kids. And any advice you have for that? Because I strongly believe that if we teach this generation to eat healthy, and schools play a big part in that, then the generations after will follow.
Yes. So the question is when the schools will move to healthy food?
Yes.
That's a good question. It's also my question. Because honestly, schools have become a bit of a pet peeve for me. Look, there's like Julia pointed this out a little bit in her response to how suppliers should adapt, right, and change. Food is a food system. We have a system in place, and Sprout is one contributor in that system. The school food system is a system in and of itself. There's canteen operations. There is decision making happening that takes into account commercials. It's really hard to cut off all these relationships, march in there and say, you know what, all the food you're offering is not so good, take my food. It doesn't work this way. It really has to come, it has to be a bit of a systematic change that happens. I'm sure that food, we have interest. It's not like there's no interest. But the interest is skewed, is currently not really tallying up with our operations. We're also a very young company. We can't take on a 3,000 headcount school overnight. It needs to make sense for us. But yes, schools, foods really need to take a much closer look at what they're offering to children, to parents generally. I agree with that.
Yes, wonderful. And Julia, the question for you is, just 1 minute. Do you think ecotourism is going to boost post-pandemic? How does that affect your B2B purchasing, and what kind of suppliers you look at?
Ecotourism. So there is a lot of ecotourism already going on. Yes, there is potential for an increase in ecotourism. What we see is that tourism in general is changing. The expectation of a guest in general is changing. It's no longer I need a 5-star hotel, a large buffet, Hermes amenities. There is this, but the majority of clients generally they are looking for experiences. And when you're talking about an experience, ecotourism comes in very handy. It's from glamping to safaris to really, yoga tours and offering these added benefits. So 100%, it is something that we are also looking at. Why do we offer yoga? Why do we offer a healthy lifestyle? It's because we really want to get into the niche, and we really need to promote it as well. That look, we are ahead. We are really we see the trend, and we want to be part of it. Why do we offer vegan items in our menu, gluten-free items in our menu? It's because we see the demand and we want to be part of it. When it comes to our business partners, you basically have a broader choice. So you can stick to the traditional business partners, and then you have the choice of eco travel and really guests that are seeking experiences. For Adagio Premium, the Palm itself, it possibly is not, it's not our target because we are on the Palm, we're in Dubai, we are an apartment hotel, we are not selling an ecotourism. But for anybody whose niche it is, there is so much opportunity, and if you market it correctly and if you promote it rightly, it is a never-ending market, 100%. If I may add to the point of the schools, what has to be done also is an education of what is healthy, right? Because my healthy might not be healthy, and we are in Dubai, in this beautiful location, yes. A melting pot of different nationalities. One person believes you have to have meat, another person believes you can get the same amount of protein from plant-based diet, another person is from religious reasons not eating XYZ. So I think that the issue is, or not the issue, the step is to educate of what is healthy, and healthy does not mean eliminating one group entirely, but maybe to have a balance and the choice. And for example, in schools, particularly, children don't have a choice. They get served what is in the canteen, right? And if it is a vegetarian item, it's possible that it's full of fat and fat ingredients. If it's not a vegetarian item, it could be a pizza. So the options are not there for children to make their choice. If I see from my own children, my son being vegan himself, he would love to eat vegan in school, but there is no vegan option, so he goes vegetarian. But vegetarian is sometimes Indian, or with a different twist. So it's very, very difficult. I believe it has to be an education first of what is healthy. Same with ecotourism. What is ecotourism? Doesn't mean you sleep in a tent and are surrounded by mosquitoes. It can be your most luxurious experience, a spiritual, rejuvenating, and super, super luxurious. So it's all about starting at the right angle, right?
Yes, for sure. Can I add to this? Yeah, for sure. So I think, Julia, you mentioned the key word in here. We're talking about balance. When I look at school menus and I look at the individual meals offered, the one thing that really springs out to me, this is not necessarily food, because you don't look at it only on a singular day. You look at it over a week. What has the child been eating over a week, right? And the one thing that springs out to me is it's not balanced. And the main singular factor in there why it is not balanced is a lack of fiber. Forget about plant-based or not. So just to make this to state this up front, we are not here to make people become vegan. But science shows that, number one, plant-based whole foods are better for you than their animal counterparts in most instances. That's one. And the other thing is, omnivorous households, so those that are not plant-based, those that are not eating a lot of plants or like salads and veggies and this, those are the kids that really need this. They don't need more eggs. They don't need more milk. They certainly don't need sugary milk packs, right? And when I look at these menus, the one thing that really stands out to me every time is a lack of fiber. The meals are lacking fiber everywhere. A pizza doesn't have fiber. If you serve the pasta with like a sad cream cheese sauce on top of it, it doesn't have any fiber. I mean, we're really missing out. The kids miss out on nutrients. And that is where the problem starts.
So true. I couldn't agree more, and I can see how passionate both of you are about this topic. And this is something I'm really passionate about as well. And I hope the world becomes passionate about it too.
Yes.
And just quickly wrapping up, just one or two sentences of what you think the future of sustainable HORECA will be like. So we'll start with Julia.
I think it's going to be more and more the norm. Like before, it was you had to look for a restaurant that serves vegetarian items, and it was, oh my God, there's a vegetarian restaurant in the city. And now everybody's having vegetarian options. Then suddenly it was vegan. Oh my God, we have vegan items. There are vegans. Now everybody has a vegan menu. Even McDonald's and Burger King, they're going on the vegan trend. So it's going to become the norm. The hotels have also slowly realized that, look, we have to be sustainable. We are responsible. We are contributing to a massive amount of waste. We have an influence. We're hosting thousands of guests in a year. We can make a difference. We're in our hotel. We're consuming 350,000 water bottles in a year. Like, imagine if I replace all of that plastic with glass or with a water filter. But then again, it's all about the education. Yes, my water is just as good as the water from a plastic bottle. So it's really about education, and I believe in the future it's just going to be the norm. And in fact, I really want the guests and clients and people to push for it, because personally I am very passionate about it. I'm very, very happy that I work in Accor, who are supporting this as one of the pillars, is really being sustainable and actually meaning it, and not just having it on paper. It's not enough to
Yes.
just tick the box, but you have to live it every day, and you have to make consequential decisions, because it's not going to happen just by thinking, oh, okay, I'm sustainable. No, you have to search. It's much more work, but once it's established, the reward is very, very great, and you have a much more conscious feeling, and your guests appreciate it. And in the end of the day, we're not here forever, but we hope that the planet will be. So I think it's just going to be the norm.
Very well said. And all your parting statements for the future of
Yes. Yeah, I couldn't say this any better than Julia already did. I mean, there definitely is, the trend goes into doing more of what we have seen in the last 3 to 5 years that have already showed us. So consumers, customers want more healthy, more sustainable, a genuine commitment, not just like something like Julia said, just on paper it looks nice. They became more savvy in assessing whether you are actually walk the talk or you're just showing a facade. They understand that the products that they consume as an eat, to the products that they wear on their skincare, or the clothes, or the hotels they go to. That trend is going to cascade through, and it's going to grow. That's for sure.
Great. So thank you, ladies, for joining us on our talk, and apologies again for the slight technical issue in the middle. But I really think so. We had a great discussion in the talk, and a lot of points were brought out, and got different perspectives as well. And it's you, ladies, we have to thank for that. Thank you once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Thank you for
having us.
having us. Thank you.
Thank you.